people want to feel like they was special. I got out the hood because I was special. No, you didn't. You got out the hood because you was fortunate with the right information.
Nique The N Voice checking in live and direct. You are tuned into SongLab Live, and I am here with a very special guest today. Let the people know who you are and what you do, sir.
Peace and love. I go by the name of Fe'La Iniko. I do a number of things. I'm mostly a hip hop activist. I fight on behalf of the oppressed against the oppressor, and I fight for the sake of mental stability. So yeah, I do music. I do hip hop music, but as an activist in the form of activism. I do film and photography as well. It's a number of things I do.
A lot of things.
It's a lot of things I do, yeah.
I heard you're a natural at almost everything.
Yeah, I'm a natural at almost everything.
But a natural at projecting your voice.
I'm a natural projector my voice, yeah.
So
y'all was trying to tell me to project my voice, and I'm like, I'm a natural already. This is what I do already, you know?
I know, because I feel like as an individual, you use your voice to make a lot of statements. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. What statements?
Runaway slave to start.
Oh, this right here on my head.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I'm a runaway slave. So somebody else did this. Do you remember who else did this? But did this similarly.
You know, I'm not 100% sure.
Prince, he had slave on his head.
Oh.
And you remember this was the time he had he was changing his name to was it artist?
The symbol?
Yeah.
Or the artist formerly known as?
Formerly known as, because he was tied to the label. Mm-hmm. I'm not tied to the label. So therefore, and I used to have this sense of wanting to be tied to the label. I had this sense that I couldn't survive without being in a plantation. You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm going to eat, how I'm going,
right?
How like the master was doing all of that for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what the artist in the industry represents.
Right.
Slave, because the master is giving them everything they need to eat, a place to stay, if you want to call that a place to stay. But I'm not attached to the industry, so therefore I'm a runaway slave. Therefore I'm not on the plantation. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm fucking I'm starting a slave revolt. You know what I'm saying?
The revolution will be televised here on SongLab Live.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be led by Fe'La.
No, it's gonna be led by the people.
Oh, by the people.
It's gonna be led by the people.
You know, a leader doesn't choose to lead.
I don't like the word leader.
Why?
The word leader has this sense of superiority to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, who am I in the lead of? What am I in the lead of? Even if I have knowledge and information, like where does that put me in front of anyone? You know what I'm saying? Like, does that put me in the lead of anyone? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like the word leader, almost like a bulletproof vest, or almost like a job as an officer, produces the sense of superiority, authority. Yeah. Like it gives you that subconsciously, like makes me feel tactical when I put this on. You know what I'm saying? So like when you put on leader, it make you feel like, make me feel like that elitism, like I'm better than, you know what I'm saying? And in reality, we're not focusing on what the truth is to that. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I feel like I just lead myself. I just lead me, and I lead by example. Mm-hmm. And so I hope that you seeing me lead me gives you the urge to want to lead yourself in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? I could be a guide and a teacher, but I just feel like it's dangerous to call yourself a leader because unless you have a good understanding, you know what I'm saying? But for the sake of trying to promote this, I want to take that word out for a while. You know what I'm saying? And just be a leader of yourself. I feel like you should just be a leader of yourself, you know?
So let's go back to the idea of slave mentality. Like the industry has created this need, right? The sense of a need. So you don't want to be a leader. How do you feel about influence?
Elaborate on that question.
So I feel like a leader, that leaders don't choose to lead. People just are, they're literally attracted to them. They're influenced by them. They see what they're doing. You lead by example and how you carry yourself, what you do, who you surround yourself with.
Right.
And then that creates influence.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the industry, what you've been experiencing lately, and then the difference. It's a long one, but I know you got it. The difference between where you were when we originally met about a year ago. Also, happy anniversary, because we met about a year ago.
Oh yeah. Peace and love. Happy anniversary. So you have to first know the start of things, who's at the top of everything. You know what I'm saying? And the main culprits of this are Universal Music Group, Sony, and Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Those are the top notch when it comes to everybody who feels like they're artists in the industry are part of those labels. You can't be on a record, you can't be on a radio play without being attached to those labels. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that come with being attached to those labels. And so, including horrible contracts, and including being exploited, including being muzzled, and you might not even know it. You might be saying something strong and they be like, we want you to take that part out of the lyrics. Because when you're attached to those labels, everything that you do or want to release has to be approved. You understand?
Yeah.
So you have to think, who's approving this?
The chain of command.
You got to figure out who's approving this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you find out who's approving it, you're going to know what their values are and what they stand for. So you'll also know what they'll promote and what they won't promote. And if they're big business, you know they're not going to promote socialism. They're not going to promote equality. They're not going to promote the fight against oppression. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's against their bottom line. You know what I mean? So if you're a true artist who has true information on what the true problem is in the world, and you're signed to that kind of label, they're always going to say no. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, what happens is they make it seem like they, just like the country, they want to make you feel like you're empowered. They want to make you feel like you got some kind of power. Because if you don't feel like that, you're eventually going to revolt. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is to make you feel like you have some kind of control over what's going on in your country. And the reality is we don't have no control. You know what I'm saying? So, as an artist, you naturally start because you grow up watching music videos on Ocean Park. You grew up watching the industry. We grow up watching what the industry feeds you. And you naturally want to feel like you can't do nothing but be a part of that industry in order to be successful. And I just started to realize, like, yo, there's certain things that I won't be able to do or say if I was a part of that industry. But even so much that my age deals with it.
Yeah.
The industry doesn't want anybody of age. Yo, you on your way to figuring it out. We can't have that. We're going to have problems, contract growth. We're going to have so many people. We don't want that.
Right.
So you either have to be young or you have to be so naive that we'll be able to bring you in. And that's the reality to the industry. The industry doesn't sign anybody unless they're young. because they want to make sure you stay connected and associated to the vices that keep you crippled
Right.
and keep you in a bad place. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
that's why the industry loves signing street rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because after you done rapping,
Gotta
you either gonna die or I go to jail.
streets, yeah.
And now and then we make money off of that, you know what I'm saying? And then we make money off of you being in jail because we invest in private prisons. So all the way around, the record label is just, you know what I'm saying? They're just keeping the cycle going, you know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
keep the masses fucked up, you know?
What do you feel like some of the negative situations are that the industry has created? So like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Just standards, like certain standards,
So
as in like the exploitation, pay to play. I know you're very much an advocate for having creative freedom and really the collaborative space.
I don't understand the question.
So the question, the industry has created these standards. They have they've created this scarcity mindset, the slave mentality, right? And as an artist, as a creative, you want to be in the industry so bad that now I'm going to throw a show and I'm going to charge you $500 to perform in my show.
So pay to play doesn't have to do with the industry per se. Pay to play is just a formula that local people adopt. You know, it's just like a tradition or a culture of doing things. You see other people doing things and then you do it. It's kind of like how the pastors be pimping the churches, you know what I'm saying? Like,
lock the door.
Yeah, lock the door.
All y'all got 20. Everybody got $20.
Crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I expect to walk out of here with $100.
So yeah, so like that situation, like, they just adopt the formula that they feel like is just normal. Like this is just normal way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it's the pay to play, because people have a misunderstanding. They think that I have a problem with paying for something.
Okay.
And my thing is, I have a problem with you exploiting. That's the problem that I have. So how to explain that is, instead of charging me a shirt worth $20, $25, $30, you want to tell me that this shirt is $100, but then you want to tell me that 50 Cent wore it. Or you want to tell me that every person who wears this shirt gets a record deal.
Right.
Or every single person who wears this shirt gets cancer cured. Or every person, you're doing all of these things and saying all of these things to get me to pay this price where it's not the worth of
value.
The value is not, you know what I'm saying? There's a value that shirt is worth. And if you're overvaluing it, you're exploiting that person and then you're going above and beyond by trying to do all of these different tactics to try to convince them to be able to give up their money, because on the surface it don't look good. You know what I'm saying? On the surface, I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I gotta make it good. Like, yo, Def Jam is coming in the building.
Right.
Yo, Def Jam gonna be there. And in reality, it's the Def Jam janitor. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga just came into town. Like, yeah, I be at Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? And they just come and these artists go and they think that, you know, they're coming to an opportunity and they're coming into a finesse. You know what I'm saying? And
you good.
I'm good.
You good. You
I forgot I had this. So, yes, I don't want to attack the people doing it anymore, because all they're doing is following a system that they've been raised to do things.
Right.
Their country does this.
Right.
This is what their country does. So they're influenced by the country that they live in. You know what I'm saying? And if their country is doing this is how I'm going to do business. And so that's the problem. If people do business the way the wealthy do business, but you're not the wealthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So therefore, you're exploiting the very people that are all in the same position, and you're keeping us all in the same position by adopting these formulas. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
pay to play is just it's just trying to get artists to understand that um there's a lot of promoters and a lot of bad business out there. And these promoters ain't go to college, they ain't go to no business schools, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All they did was just I'ma just charge artists, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a brand. I can't put people in the seats. So therefore I'm just going to maximize how many artists come and perform and pay. And I'm gonna make my money just off of that. And anything other than that is gonna be a bonus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They do business insecurely. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not sure that their event is going to do good. They're so afraid that they're not gonna make their money back that they like, yo, I need to figure out how to make that money before the show even starts.
Right.
I need to figure out how to secure that insecurity before that even, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to give both parties as far as artists and the promoters, because the promoters they don't really know what they're doing. They feel like, yo, this is just business, because they're always gonna tell you the same reaction. Like, bro, so what? We just like artists just gonna do shit for free? Like, I know, like, bro, you like, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this to be an event thrower and have a quality business and brand? Or are you
Right.
just doing this for the right now money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to liberate their minds.
How do you like pick and choose who you actually work with? Because I feel like we have been working together for a little bit, a lot
Uh-huh.
actually, for over like the last couple months. And I know what your intention is. So how do you pick and choose who you work with?
It's good vibes, man. Good vibes and good energy. And even then, that's a gamble, because you sometimes don't, people start off with the best intentions.
Mhm.
So I'm actually finding it difficult trying to find that line, because people are dealing with so much in their individual lives. It's hard for them to want to work with anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Or do it the way they can at their best potential because
Mhm.
of how life is going. So I find it hard working with other people a lot of times. But yeah, I don't know, man. I keep my circle really small.
Have you had any issues? How long have you been in Arizona?
I've been in Arizona for like 11 years
Oh,
now.
you've been out here.
I've been out here. I'm from Arizona now. I am from Arizona now. I am an Arizona rep.
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 Yes, a brand ambassador for.
Brand ambassador for Arizona.
So, have you had any issues working with people if you have a small circle for 11 years?
So like, I don't have a problem with anybody at all. Like the person that I am, I'm trying to work with everyone.
Mhm.
What it is people have always had a problem with me because I don't go along. I'm not the
Mm.
guy that goes along. And I also feel like I have a more realer way of doing things and more experience of doing things, that people get either intimidated by it, or people are jealous of it, or I run into a lot of people who misunderstand me. And you have a lot of people who want to take shots at the best. I'm not the best. I'm sorry. I'm not the greatest, because I feel like we are related. So why would I want to be the greatest? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be the greatest. There's no need. It's no need to be the greatest, because greatest, again, it produces superiority. I'm
Mhm.
trying to eliminate superiority at all costs from myself, because as a guide and a teacher, that's a really main thing. When you look at all the like crazy leaders, they all started off like Stalin or Lenin or Papa Doc, or all of these revolutionaries started off with the best intentions, but because they didn't deal with their flaws of being money hungry, or their flaws of their sexual prowess or their flaws of being this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't deal with that, so now they're given this power and respect, and it's overwhelmed them, and now it's getting in the way of the revolution because you never dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? So now you money hungry, and now you got control issues. You never dealt with your control issues. You never dealt with your pride. You never dealt with, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yeah, people, they take me and what I say and what I do like the wrong way because it's different, but it's realer than what they're used to. And then they usually find out later on, like, damn, he was onto something this whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody meets the same
Yeah.
version of me.
And so what ends up happening is because I've always followed 50 Cent as a marketer, what I learned to do was just use what they give or throw at me and market it. That's all I always do. I never attack anybody. I usually always get whatever they throw at me. All right, I'm gonna turn this into some kind of marketing scheme to be able to build my brand and publicity because I'm just trying to get to a certain level of popularity so that I can liberate a mass of people. So yeah,
Let's talk about your latest catalog.
latest catalog, man.
We recently filmed a video. Are you still wanted in 3 counties in Arizona?
That's the marketing. That's the marketing genius of it, right?
My family was like, who are you and what are you doing?
I had so many people hit me up off of those that wanted picture, man. And Bossy too. Like, I had family and friends. I had people from my old childhood hit me up like, dang, bro, I didn't know.
I didn't know it was that bad.
I
didn't know you needed the money that
It was shared all over the place. So you had people all over the place like, I know him. I went to school with him. Oh, shit. Like, and they were hitting my family up like, yo, did you see this? Like, it was so funny, man. It was so funny. That's the marketing of it, though.
Did you have to, like, let your family know? Did you let your family know ahead of time, or were you just fielding calls?
My dad called me. My dad was like, he was like, Junior, I see you on the one or something. I said, my dad is not, like, technically literate. So, is that, did I say that right?
Technically savvy.
Yeah, technically literate. I said it right. But yeah, he called on panic mode. Like, son, like, what's going on? That was so funny. My catalog of music right now is kind of just starting. And I'm very transparent about my process. A lot of the music that I have and have done have been music that I have and have done over like past 5, 6, 7 years and just constructed better or quality be turned into better. You know what I'm saying? Or popularity is in a better position because you drop music as an artist, you drop music, and it doesn't get the attention that you want it to get.
Right.
And then when you get to a certain frame of your career, it's like, damn, that shit that I dropped was some good shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I figured out was, okay, if people didn't hear it, I'll just delete it. And I just deleted everything. And see, what I'm doing is what the industry does. Like, if a label had wanted to contact me and sign me, it had me delete my whole catalog. They'd have me delete it, and then I'd re-release it off better quality, better resources, better everything else. You know what I'm saying? So all I do is I try to move accordingly like the machine moves. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move the way the machine moves and try to compete with the machine by using their
strategy and
strategies that they use.
And that's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
Because the power really is in collaboration. So
yeah,
even if it's the Def Jam janitor, the janitor got the keys.
But we don't want
the keys, but he doesn't always know what to do with them.
We don't want Def Jam.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a janitor.
Oh, as a janitor
themselves, they have all the keys.
Yeah, they got.
But I want to go on vacation sometime, so I'm gonna make copies of the keys.
I feel you, but
you don't want copies of the keys?
I don't know, man. Well, I want the keys to the universe. I don't want keys to some white man's fucking apartment or something.
I think that you can look at keys as strategy and tactics. because that is the way, you know, it's
Now
a
it's
way to get
semantics.
there. But that's what you're
semantics.
known for.
Yeah.
That's what you're known for.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are some things that you've heard about yourself where you're like, is that really me?
I'm pretty well grounded. So anything that I've heard about myself, if it was true, I'd agree with it. Like, yeah, I can be arrogant. I could be very arrogant sometimes when you're as knowledgeable as you are. You could be arrogant. You could be condescending. But I'm always working on those things. It's not like extreme or anything like that. But I just, you have to be aware of those things when you're a knowledgeable person. But anything that people usually have to say about me, it doesn't move me or sway me like in any kind of way because I'm well grounded. I'll listen to it. I'll definitely listen to it because other people might see something you don't see. So I'm always examining myself. So I do sometimes. I don't know, man. I don't know. 'Cause I just know that a lot of people out there are trolls. I just don't. Yeah, I'm really good at blocking the noise or using the noise.
You could use it.
Yeah,
You use it a lot.
for sure, for sure.
So we're doing the video release
Uh-huh.
for With It.
With it.
With It.
With it.
We have Angela in the makes.
Angela, yeah, I love that song.
I love that song.
Angela's oh my God. Shout out to Angela Davis, the great activist.
Cultural activist.
Yeah, huge.
What about the La Russell feature? Like, what's going on with that?
I did not want to bring that up, man.
Why?
I tried to talk about that.
Why?
It's because I'm trying to preserve negative energy from getting out. Because how can I see the human side of it? How do we look at the human side of it? I don't know how to look at
For those of us who may not know the full story behind the feature, can you give us a little?
Okay, so I've always been inspired by La Russell's process, how he does things. Great artist. I love La Russell. And with that being inspired, of course, being also being an artist, I naturally wanted to work with him. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, of course, do some kind of song or some kind of feature of an impactful song that could be impactful. And so I had a specific song. It was a great song. It was about being exploited as artists. So it's like literally right up the alley that he talks about. You know what I'm saying? And so he's doing this thing where he's taking like, offers or, you can kind of give a offer or whatever you have, and he'll, maybe or maybe not get on the song with you. And so I sent a significant amount. I felt that was enough to not only get on but respect. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't what was it 25? It was 2,500. I sent him. I felt that was significant for me, especially me. And so and not only that, I felt like the song was amazing. It was amazing. Like it's an amazing fucking song. Like there's no doubt that it's an amazing song. The hook in particular is very gold. So it was literally right up his alley to do.
They're coming for you.
And I did.
They found out.
And I felt like, and this is what every artist that's trying to make it does. If I go through the right avenues and the right things that they're asking me to do, then I'll do it. And then I'll get, that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, and me being a person who's dealt with this a lot in my career, I don't do this shit. I don't do pay to play. But it's La Russell. I'm like, yo, it's La Russell. This guy he's he's doing the shit that I'm like, I feel like we definitely, you know what I'm saying? He gonna love this track. You know what I'm saying? And I sent a significant amount. So I sent the money. Everything was.
Wait, you actually sent the money? It wasn't just like an offer?
No, I sent him the. No, I sent the offer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sent the offer, and then they accepted the offer.
Okay.
And then I sent the money because I sent the offer along with the track.
Got it.
And so they accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And so so they send it back. They send it. Well, here's the part. When I sent the offer, they sent me an email and said the song is done. Just send the money. You know, that made me wonder. I was like, how you know I'm gonna send the money?
Right.
You just went into the studio, spent time, labor, effort.
Right.
And all I did was send an offer of a significant amount. You know what I'm saying? So that had got me already, and I'm really iffy about these things because you run into a lot of these finesses and scams. And so that had already gave me a red flag, but I'll go through with it. And so the contact was through an email. It was through somebody that was I want to assume it was his girlfriend, but it was probably just somebody who he runs their emails or something like that. But the contact wasn't personal at all. There was no like sense of, okay, you sent the money, you sent the dope song, let me go on DM you, or like let me send some kind of personal thank you or whatever. Like
Acknowledgement.
thank you, just acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying? So everything was like that through email, so on and so forth. So they send me the track with them on it. And mind you, when you send like, this is because you probably don't know, when you send music to somebody like a feature or something like that, you usually just send raw vocals. And when you send the raw vocals, that your engineer can mix and master and so on and so forth. They sent me the track, and then the vocals were so bad. Like, it's just like when you go to the studio, you could just rap and then send it.
That's how it works?
Yeah, you could just rap, they send it.
Right.
He rapped and then threw a whole lot of effects on it that made it sound like impossible to engineer.
Was it him?
Listen, yes, of course. This is the way they do. This is how you know it's a finesse, because they could have just sent raw vocals and been like, you do whatever you please with them. But you went out your way to put effects on the vocals, because it don't come with effects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just rap that shit, send that shit, right?
Right.
He rapped it and went out their way to put effects on it to where it was just so much reverb and so much effects on it that you couldn't do nothing except for ask for, I need the vocals and stuff like that. You gotta pay for that too. You know what I'm saying? There's the finesse. But whatever. I listened to the track and it's mediocre. The bars are mediocre. He is literally so off topic that that my peers who listened to it were like, is he dissing you? That's how bad he was off topic. Because the song was about being exploited. He was rapping like he was the promoter. We're like listening to the lyrics like, and it was just mediocre. And God bless La Russell, man. God bless La Russell. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether I don't even know if he heard the song. I'm confused. It confuses me because of how bad.
This was honestly real life. I was this.
I kid you not. This was in December.
That's what I thought. Like, it was fairly recent.
It was fairly recent. And I was just so disappointed. I tried my hardest to, talk to them and, hey man, like, can we just get him to just be on topic at least? Like, just get the topic part.
So you were willing to pay, like, if the verse was good enough, would you have paid for the raw vocals?
I would have paid for everything.
See?
I would have paid for the vocals. I would have paid for the video. I would have paid for whatever I would have needed to pay for in order to make the opportunity worth what it was supposed to be worth.
Right.
And
Maximize.
yeah, and I thought that doing that with an artist who promotes being exploited as artists or promotes fairness, you would think like, hell no, not Russell. Nah, man, you would. And I love Russell. I don't have no issues. There's no issues, but at the same time, it's a learning experience. And it creates insecurity, like the insecurity that the business did to him. And now there's insecurities with me, like any artist who portrays to be this, like, I don't know that's what you really about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that LaRussell's not about that, but I will say it was not fair. It wasn't fair at all. And so I was really disappointed. A lot of my fans and supporters were really disappointed because people knew. They knew, like, even before they were just like, oh, like I would get random tags like, damn, we can get Fe'La and LaRussell on the song. That would be hard as fuck. And I was trying to create that opportunity, and unfortunately, I was disappointed, man. I was disappointed.
So LaRussell's going to be here in Phoenix on June 7th. Were you aware of that?
No.
You want to go to the show?
Fuck no. No, I love LaRussell. Fuck LaRussell. I love LaRussell.
If you had the opportunity, like if we could get him in this studio to have a sit down round table, what would you say to him?
I just would, for one, I want to know what the fuck, yo. What the fuck was that you sent me, B? And then to make it seem like the part that does it for me is the part that where you send it to me with all of this reverb on. Like, I'm like, yo, why would you send it to me when it's so distorted that I absolutely have to send money for like vocals or whatever I can't even get away with saying, you know what, I can't. What if I couldn't afford that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to just say, you know what, being on a record with LaRussell, I'm gonna try to make that work with the vocals that he sent because they were raw vocals, so I could do something to it. But no, you sent it in a way where you absolutely, that's what makes it a finesse, you know? Like if you're moving and operating and using specific tactics that make you be like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody who want to ask you for money, and they be like, damn, man. And you're like, what's wrong? Nothing, never mind. You know?
That's exactly.
Get the fuck out of here, man. We know why you did. Come on, man. Don't try to use tactics to get me to try to, what's wrong? What's wrong now? You're not gonna help me anyways. You'll never understand. And if I do tell you, I know you're not gonna help me. My life is over though. I'm gonna die. Yo, you're trying to bait me into like that's the part that makes me say that's not cool. You know? And it's put me in a really insecure place because I've dealt with this so many times. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with this with the game trying to do this mixtape, and I love the game, man. I fucks with the game. You know what I'm saying? I had an opportunity to hang out with them. I had an opportunity to be invited with him on many occasions. So I thought that certain things that he was doing and I tried to be a part of, I thought was genuine. It ended up just being, you know, a finesse. And, you know, I don't think they know, you know. That's just never.
I know he lying. Over here, I don't think they know.
People
know what they're doing.
They know.
People know.
They know. They know.
They
know.
Whoa. They make the choice.
And that's still behind some. It still comes from a place.
But
that's the part.
How do you go from hanging out with the game to being scammed?
Well, he had started this mixtape thing where he was putting artists on a mixtape, and I just be knowing it's a finesse, but I be like, that's the part though. That's the part. That's the human part that they exploit out of
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying? Being as smart as I am, you know how many people done got scammed that was smart as fuck and lost money in the market or lost money through a bank that they was banking at, and it was some scam. Like, smart people get scammed because we're human at the end of the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the part that they exploit. Like,
People play on your emotions.
so they play on your
Desires.
they exploit your hope, they exploit your ignorance, most importantly, because you don't know.
Right.
That's the most the ignorance create the hope is generated by the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Because not knowing causes you to hope for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the ignorance of not knowing if it's gonna go right or not is like, and then that part of you is just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? He did this whole little mixtape thing. Y'all probably remember where he was putting artists on the mixtape. And I had asked him specifically, I said, this mixtape, is it gonna be like 1,000,000 artists on this motherfucker? Or is it gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
12.
Nah, it's only gonna be like 25. I said, 25? That's cool. Okay. No, if it's like a compilation artist, 25 compared to how many artists was trying to contact the game,
Yeah.
that's special. That's a little more personal, you know what I'm saying? Where you like, okay, so I did that. Come to find out, it ended up being a compilation of like 30 projects. He was like 25 on one album, and then he dropped another album 2 days later with 25, and another day, 25, 25, 25. It was just a piling of artists. And then I started hitting him up on fake pages like, hey, I'm an artist. I wanna be on the mixtape too.
He's smart.
Oh yeah, we got you. We love your music. So on and so forth. Ain't nothing on my page, man. It's a fake page. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up contacting him. I ended up DMing him, like, bro, what's going on, bro? I'm confused. Come to like he DMing me some bullshit. I'm like, yo, this ain't even the game. Like, I know how he talks. Like, this ain't even the game. He's like, this is the game, blood. Woo. I'm like, yo, bro, just tell the game that is me. Like, tell them who you're talking to, because I have a specific relationship with him. Like, yo, tell him who you're dealing with so that, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. And dude was just not trying to, he was really legitimately trying to act like he was the game. And what it was it was a specific guy that was going, that he had this, what it is he had this idea of basically creating mixtapes, and you know, because you know artists want to get on something. And so you have artists that are in particular bad positions because these stupid ass labels put them in bad positions. So you have artists like Bow Wow, artists like Fat Joe, artists like Jadakiss, artists like The Game. All of these artists were doing the same type of mixtape.
Right.
And it was coming from the same guy who was trying to make them money. You know what I'm saying? These are artists that are in bad positions because of how the industry treated them. So they just trying to figure out a way to make money. And you got this guy giving them this idea that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Because the game ain't about to respond to 100, 200, 400, 1,000 DMs. No, he's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And they were charging people. I paid $500 for that. They were trying to charge me 1,000 for it. I'm like, I ain't got that. I got 5. They're like, all right, we'll take that, man. It took 500 from
That
me.
should have been your number one indicator right there.
But there's still that part of you, man. That part of you that's just like, you know.
So have you talked to the game about this situation?
I haven't talked to him. It ended up being somebody else ended up blowing the whistle on him, so it ended up being like this thing.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing all that.
Yeah, he just was in a bad position. That's all. And some guy came along and gave him some bullshit, and didn't realize what they was doing. But the guy, he knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that position happened. And then you have the regular, everyday, every weekend exploitation events. You know what I'm saying? I'm not faulting them. I'm not faulting them. The enemy is the 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is just caught in the development of the societies, that the ramifications of being in this system. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question. I've been waiting to do that for like 5 minutes. As far as the industry goes, we already touched on the fact that you feel like if anyone is revolutionary, if they have really some substance to say, that they're going to be silenced.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about Kendrick. Do you feel like he's had any type of influence over the last year with outside of the beef itself, like his music, the substance of his music, the statement that he made at the Super Bowl? Talk to me a little bit about that.
That's a touchy topic because I have
That's why I brought it up.
I have a relationship with a lot of the TDE members. So I would say, fuck that, man. I would say that the industry only allows him to do the things that the industry allows him to do. Like what I said originally, which is create. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he doesn't know this. Maybe, and that's the thing. They make you feel like you're doing something, you know? Like, they'll allow you certain things to make you feel like, because they have no problem with you focused on the symptom. If you dealing with you taking medicine for the symptoms, yeah, keep on, yeah, you know, it's just a headache, yeah, it's just a sore throat, yeah, you bleed out your ass. That's just this, you know what I'm saying? It's a little medicine effect, just a side effect to this and that. Like,
Right.
keeping them from figuring out the virus, and by the time they figure it out, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like the industry, and you know what? I'm gonna bet Kendrick doesn't know this. I'm gonna bet Cole doesn't know this. Maybe, nah, I'm gonna bet they don't know this. Because, and if I was to speak to them directly, I would say that the industry is allowing you to create division unintentionally. They have no problem with you promoting Black power. They have no problem with that because it's going to offend white people, or it's going to offend brown people. Because I'm not a part of what you're promoting. I'm not a part of that. Whether you want to feel like you at the furthest bottom of the bag or something like that, because you got a lot of people who like, the problem in this country is a lot of people feel like because and it's Black people in general, they feel like because they at the bottom of the bag, we need to figure out how to get to the top of the bag,
Right.
and not understanding that you in the bag. You know what I'm saying? In general, like, you in the bag, regardless of, you might be getting treated. Yeah, you might be getting treated worse out the bunch. But the problem isn't trying to figure out, because a lot of these people would trade places with these wealthy people if they could. You know what I'm saying? They would, if a lot of these slaves would trade places with the master if they could. Like, you know, like, they don't like slavery, but I'd love to be the master. I'd love to be the master, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not giving, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they want Kendrick, they want them to focus on Black power, division, or your specific symptom that you want to fight, versus fighting economical power or oppression,
Right.
against the very labels that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not that I had a problem with the Super Bowl performance, it's just that, think about who approved the Super Bowl performance. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Talk about it.
if you want to make a message, you're not going to do that through the Super Bowl. So that's what makes me think that Kendrick said, I'll never be able to do that on this platform. So fuck it, I'm just gonna do my latest music because it's through my new contract. Because everybody wanted Kendrick to do all the classics,
Right.
and they wondered why he didn't do the classics. But the classics were attached to old contracts,
Right.
and so he did his new songs to be able to make even more money off of the new catalog that he had.
But also perpetuate the division.
It could have been also a fuck you too. Could have been a fuck you because
To who?
I didn't. I love Kendrick, but if you're a Kendrick fan, every Kendrick fan is like, yeah, that performance wasn't really it. We didn't really fuck with that. Real K-Dot fans didn't really fuck with that. 'Cause we know K-Dot, we know his music, we know how he operates. Kinda, I ain't saying we know Kendrick, but
Right.
I'm saying, but we be knowing like his last album. We was all like, yeah, that shit go, but nigga, that ain't Kendrick though. That's what the industry wanted Kendrick to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's Kendrick might have some kind of plan. I hope he has some plan we don't know about. You know?
Very
That's
possible.
why I can't really say much about it. But I do know being under those contracts, you know, like
Yeah.
it's gotta be some hold on what you really want to say, you know, like
To have an entire stadium and honestly, like international audience calling Drake a pedophile in unison.
that's tough, man. Ugh.
I mean, can we go a little bit deeper as far as some of your experience and how that made you feel, or just in general, just that statement?
It's battle rap. I would say it's battle rap, but damn, that's crucial. That was a crucial, that was pretty crucial. But it's battle rap though. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody look at if I was to bring up Eazy-E's name, you wouldn't think of No Vaseline, would you?
No.
You wouldn't think about Ice Cube's diss, would you? And that diss was No Vaseline was a piss of the like we still like, I don't know, they not like us, Mike. And No Vaseline. When you think of Biggie Smalls, you don't think of Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just battle rap. The
Yeah.
part that I don't and I can't really speak on it because I don't really have enough information to speak on it. Yeah, I don't have enough information to speak on it.
Okay.
So yeah.
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 The answer was yes.
Yeah.
What was the question?
That. Yeah.
No, I want to talk about something that you and I have talked about personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're comfortable sharing it on a platform like
I'm open.
this.
I'm open book. You can ask me anything.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But you can ask me anything though. You ask me anything.
What is one of the hardest things that you've had to deal with as an individual, not as an artist, in your younger life that has shaped who you are as an adult, how you look at situations?
What you said what? So what's had a major impact over me most
Mhm.
importantly?
In your younger years as an individual, not necessarily as not as an artist.
Right. That's impossible to really answer to one person.
Okay.
It's really just my life overall really. That's really a hard to pinpoint one because I'm gonna say my mom because she gave birth. She started this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely my mom.
The mama.
You know, if you want to be specific, but overall, I was fortunate because a lot of stuff in this system deals with with fortunates and time and place, and I was fortunate to um to get the teacher that looked at me and was like, "Oh, you gonna be somebody." You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get the teacher that was like, "Are we gonna watch another movie today?" You know what I'm saying? I didn't get the teacher that was like, so what, you didn't do your homework or just didn't care because they don't get paid that much.
Right.
They don't get paid. They don't get paid shit, and they gotta go back home and figure out another job or work another job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta come here and deal with these kids. Even though I wanted to be a teacher, it's hard to really like my job because I'm being exploited. You know what I'm saying? So fuck this little nigga. You know what I'm saying? Sit your ass down. Just shut up. You know?
We gonna watch a movie today.
No, I was fortunate. Like I was always running into strict teachers or teachers who were more social that were like hands-on and were like, yeah, like really saw things in me and you know, I got the OG that was like, keep doing music, keep going to school, man. Keep you know what I'm saying? Keep getting into the positive right stuff, you know? Um giving me the stories and telling me don't get involved and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't there was dudes that lived in the same neighborhood as me that went to the same school as me, and they didn't get the same teacher. Saying they got the teacher that was yelling. They got the OG that was like, "Here's how you hit a lick." You know what I'm saying? They got different people wonder like, "Nigga, I lived in this," because you always get those people that be like, "Nah, that's just an excuse. I came from the same place and look how I turned out." You still ain't shit. You still got you still got problems. You might have more worse problems than them, and you just don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's that superiority. Everybody want to be better than everybody. So that's where I like my mind development. I was fortunate to run into these type of people that develop that mind. It didn't come from special divinity. It didn't come from being chosen. It didn't come from anything special because we're all fucking special. We're all divine. I am not the greatest because we all related. How can I be greater than you if I'm related to you? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's why it's like a lot had to go because I'm still working. I'm still unlearning shit. Like I'm still trying to deprogram myself. You know what I mean? And so um the person that I am today has a lot to do with the fortunate um fortunate run-ins in my life. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause people want to feel like they was special. I got out the hood because I was special. No, you didn't. You got out the hood because you was fortunate with the right information. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gets out because they just was lucky. You got the right whether what you could have maybe both of y'all was hanging out with the OG and only one of y'all was really listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's so many things that go into effect that it's you can't nobody's in a good position. Everybody's in a everybody can be everybody's in a good position. They just don't know it. Everybody has peace. They just don't know they have it. Everybody has love. They just don't know they have it. Everybody has these things. The system just stops them from knowing that they have it. Like, who taught you how to digest your food?
My body do that on its own.
It just do it on its own, right? Right? It's
Right.
and that shit complicated as fuck, right? Your whole why do we strain ourselves when we think? Our brain is supposed to just
Function.
naturally just flow. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that put strain on it with all of these different, you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about God. I feel like that's a good segue right now. Come on.
Oh man, we don't want to talk about God, man. People got God fucked up, man.
What you
People
mean
got-
by that?
They got God fucked up, man. People's way of like religion, like the way religion has always controlled people in the worst ways. You know what I'm saying? That's history has shown us that. But comes to God, like what you mean specifically? Like
Well, you said people got God fucked up.
people got God fucked up. Comes to tithes and offerings. You know what I'm saying?
Lock the door. I'm gonna need $20 from everybody.
And it's crazy to me that it's 2025 and people still pay tithes. That just is really interesting to me. Like, you would have thought that people eventually read the Bible on themselves by themselves. even the pastors of today, you would think they got to a point in their life where they actually read the Bible for themselves and not from a tradition. 'Cause a lot of these pastors, they're following that formula. They're just
'Cause it
following
worked.
a formula.
It works.
It's not just that it works, but it's easier than trying to figure out what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? It's way easier for you to give me what the truth is than me to go find it. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna go do it. Just tell me and I'll put you know what I'm saying? But to actually have to go look for the truth is the part people don't wanna do. So they just allow pastors and religion to feed them their faith and feed them their ideas and their perspectives. And you're feeding other people's perspectives that were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like tithing is the most capitalistic way of they've been getting away with that forever.
Ever.
Forever. You know what I'm saying? So then they got God fucked up. Like they exploit these people, making people pay for shit.
The exploitation.
They
got the church too.
They got the church, man. They been at the church.
They have
They
had the
been
church.
had the church, man. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these pastors, like I said, they're following a formula. So they believe, oh, this is the way it is. This is what you mean. This is, gotta pay God. Gotta get God that money. You know what I'm saying? Like when the last time you gave God some money for real? Like when the last time God needed some money? God don't need no money. That's why every tithing scripture in the Bible is about food. It don't matter what tithing scripture you turn to, it's going to talk about food.
Fasting.
Food.
Yeah.
Food. Food. And then this is what religious people like to say. Oh, that was the money in their time. They didn't have currency. No, they had currency. Because Deuteronomy 14 says that if you got too much produce and God bless you with too much crop, trade that in for money and then buy the things that you need.
Right.
This is what your Bible is saying. You know what I'm saying? People have found ways to make money out of God. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the problem is. That's always been a problem with superiority. It's superiority. Money creates superiority. The more money I have, the more different I am. The more secluded I am from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, people. I feel like I have one of the most realist perspectives of the Bible, and not the realist, but one of the realist perspectives of the Bible and how God kind of operates.
I feel like we're gonna need a whole separate episode for
Definitely
that. So let's put a pin in that. I have one question for you, and then I want to know what you want to leave us with, because believe it or not, you have done what you came to do.
Did I?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope I've been insightful.
You have. I'm gonna give you the mic in 2 seconds. Answer my question, then whatever you want to leave us with, you can leave us with. Who do you want to work with here in the Valley?
Who do I want to work with in the Valley?
Yes.
Everybody.
I love that answer.
I want to work with everybody.
And in particular?
Everybody.
No particular order.
No, because if I do a particular order, that creates superiority.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I don't want nobody to feel like I'm special. Oh, he said my name. I'm trying my hard, and you might catch me every now and then do some superiority shit, but I'm trying my hardest to really get that out the way.
Right.
Because you could trust a person who doesn't want to be better than you. You could trust that person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to create that atmosphere so that we can get to the greater purpose of life. You know what I'm saying?
Shameless plugs. What you want to leave us with? How do we contact you? What's coming up?
There's so much I can leave you with. You have to follow me to get the rest. But what I will leave you with is stop being a slave. Stop being a slave. You being exploited at work and shit, and you not working you're not getting paid the value of your labor. You know what I'm saying? Like liberate yourself so that you're not being exploited by these people, or if you're being exploited, you know what's going on, because you get a lot of people who get these ticks in their side and ticks in their neck or headaches and this, that, and the third, and they don't know what it is, and they take a pill for it and it's gone, right? Take this and it's gone for a little bit, and you keep like, damn, why does this shit keep coming back? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not dealing with the actual problem. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to tell people to liberate their minds, stop being a slave. And if you are a slave, find a way to get out the plantation or liberate yourself so that when it's time to leave together, because it's easier to leave together, because people always want to know why a slave don't want to leave a plantation, because it's like, I don't want to do it by myself.
Just be out there by myself.
Like if the whole plantation got up though, or the majority of the plantation, you know what I'm saying? Imagine my whole apartment complex saying, yo, we're not gonna pay rent until you charge us a decent price. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the whole country walking out of their job at once and saying, yo, pay us the value of our labor. There's nothing they can, that's what big business is trying to stop.
You gotta hit them where it hurts.
They're trying their hardest to stop us from getting together at once. You know what I'm saying? So they separate us through religion and race and sexual preference and political preference and all these other different things, and they try to separate us, and they only want to separate us so that we don't come together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna leave with put your religion to the side, put your sexual preference to the side, put your political preference to the side, put these individual preferences to the side for the sake of humanity as a whole. And liberate yourself and educate yourself. That's what I leave with.
All right.
That's what I leave with, but I can't, there's more to go, but.
We're going to do this again. We got to do this again. Yeah. Fe'La, thank you so much for joining us here.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me. Thank you.
This is SongLab Live.
SongLab Live. I appreciate Fleek. I appreciate everybody. Everybody, man.
Thank you.
Nique The N Voice checking in live and direct as your new host for SongLab Live. As a professional hype woman, I love to help creatives and entrepreneurs actualize their vision. If you have a story that you would like to share, go ahead and hit me up in the DM. That is the only reason that I want you in there, so I can have you in here with me, right here in the hot seat.